You know, it's funny you say that, because that's actually the joke I made in the, little thingy. Also, hey, Tyrion. To be fair, at some point, if you got, like, if you're in the Discord, you think, like, it's like these things kind of come at clockwork. Hey, Peter. Alright, now I'm done with my pretzels. Hey, synopsis. Yeah, Section 59 doesn't exactly have the same ring to it. Yeah, Section Double Zeta was Quattro Vagina. Oh, that reminds me. Do I still have it up? Because I should probably get the map up. Not that one. Yeah, I also will have a... Section Z is always going to be a game I have fondness for. Even though I will not hesitate to say that I think the game has some slight executional problems. But it tried something, and it sometimes works. Okay, here we go. Alright, so there we go. I should have everything ready now, so let's go ahead and get started. Also, where am I in the camera? There I am. Okay, that works. Hello. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Lolo De Puzlo Journal. Why is my... I feel like I'm looking... Camera seems to be a little off. I actually found out a thing that was going on with my VTuber Plus that was causing it to act weird. So I'm glad that I figured that out. Let's, because I found out that, because I have to use two pieces of software in order to get the camera to work. So, okay, is this going to be right? And it turns out that they were using the same shortcut for two different things, which is causing some problems. So, I should be able to, let me get about right here. In there, and we're going to lock the camera there. Alright, so, hello. Welcome to a Sunday edition of Lolo De Puzlo's Journal. Since it is Sunday, well, actually, before I say that, I'm going to go ahead and say, not that it's going to be that big a deal, but today's stream is going to be a smidge shorter because I do have something going on. I'm actually going to be involved with another stream directly after this, so I want to give myself some time in order to get something to eat before before I start that. So yeah, it's going to be like maybe 5 or 10 minutes shorter, not like 30. So just wanted to say that. So yeah, just give me a heads up for that. But we'll see if that even matters. So back to the library. This journal thing doesn't actually matter because last time we picked a card, we ended up getting a potpourri game, and that potpourri game was this, Section Z for the NES, though technically I'm doing the Famicom Disk System version. This is a shmup that has some interesting concepts in regards. And now, I also had the thing, or the realization, this is actually just one giant teleporter maze, which made me feel weird, but yeah, I guess that's technically what this game is. So, regardless, let us not dawdle, and let's go ahead and get going. So let's see where my volume's at. There we go. Oop, moved my... Come on, get back to where we were. So, Section Z. So last time we left off, we were just gone to the third section of the game of 3. So we're at the tail end of the game. And we ended up we just got there and we were a little bit hurt. So I went ahead and actually did a little bit of grinding and got us back. I found a good loop that let me get some health back. So we're going to start with a pretty good chunk of health, which should help us out because we're going into some slightly rough areas. Also, I had the map open, so I will be able to know where to go. Oh, also, I need to do this. I'll say shark. You and you. Oop. Actually, I should probably turn this up a little bit more. There we go. That's too loud. Let's try that. So this section kinda sucks. For one very specific reason. And the fact that kinda to progress in this area, you kinda need to know where some warps are. Also, I missed a place where you can get health up. But since I'm pretty close to the health, then... Yeah, that pause noise is kinda jarring. Okay, so... I'm gonna move the chat so I can see it over here. Also, I'm going to... adjust the camera so that I'm actually looking forward. Okay. So let me see where we are on the map. We want to go... I think up? Yeah, we want to go up. Should take us to 44? Yep. Okay. So I have all the weapons available to me. I'm not turning them on quite yet because I want to save it because we're going to need it for something else shortly. Kinda, but not nearly as dickish. Yeah, the music in this area is really good. The arcade version. So this is a song that comes from the arcade version of this game. Which is really... I really like the version of that one. Okay. Coming up on a boss. Caution, attack the heavy destroyer. And hey... what time is it? But... to deal with a little... Got a little boss rush here. I also hate this section. Patient! Oh god. See, that's the problem with this boss, is that if you're not careful, you can get collided with and instantly die. Damn it. Okay. There we go. Okay, and now we're done with that. So... here. Got these things. We got a second Mega Masher here, but I'm not going to pick it up because I like the straight firing one. I think it's supposed... Judging by the fact that the final boss, I'm going to assume this is probably meat. Okay. So there's two ways we can do this. I'm going to go down here, because then I can refresh the barrier. Okay, I don't think I need that. Okay, now we need to go to here, and now I need to basically keep on shooting high. Oh, shit. Okay, good. Okay, where the hell are you? There you are. So there's a teleporter here, which takes us to 49. This is the only way you can get to section 49. Okay. Okay, and now we want to go... I want to say we want to go up. Okay, yep, we want to go up. Okay, where is it? Oh shit. I think it's right here. There we go. There we go. The music in this game is fantastic. Okay. And from here, I want to go down. Which will take me to here. Alright. And now it's time to fight another old friend. This jackoff. Oh, this sucks. Okay, there we go. Okay, good. God, I really hate how finicky the hitboxes are in this game. There we go. Oh, did I? I almost fought it to the exit. Okay. So now I kind of want to keep high, because I believe there is a health restorative room here. I actually don't know, because I've never actually had that happen. There we are. Okay. Okay, I need to go to... Technically I could get a barrier in one of the rooms, but... I'm gonna go up. Again, I want to stay high. There it is. The benefit of killing the boss is, though, that, it's gone forever, then. Alright. So now we want to go down. And now we're at section 57. Part of me kind of wants to check to see if I can get a barrier, but... I do have a fair amount of health. Because weirdly enough, the final boss is actually not as difficult as the, as the mine's, enemy. Alright. Go here. And here's section 58. Which just takes us to 59. And also this room that for some reason has things you can't avoid damage from. And now... Here. There we go. And that's section Z. So, there's a weird difference between this and the Western version. In the Western version, the screen stays still while you shoot up in the air. Also, this credit screen doesn't scroll, it just shows everything at once. End. And now it's saving. And now, if I go in, it doesn't denote it, but there is a second loop to this game. The second loop of this game basically is a hard mode, which all the generators are by default destroyed, which means that you cannot get any health upgrades. You have to go through the entire game with 20 health. Which is kind of hard. But yeah, that's Section Z. It is a game that it has some neat ideas, but kind of a little bit meandering some points. But for the most part, I think that game is actually fairly good. So let's reassess where it is on the board. Yep. There we go. Alright. Where is Section Z? Or Section Z, technically. Okay, NES version of Section Z. We have it a B+. I think if you play the NES version, so by the way, the NES version, if you're not familiar with, there is no saving or password system at all. You have to beat the entire game in one go, which kind of sucks. But when you got it on the Famicom Disk System, you can take it at your leisure. And even though its saving system's a little not great, it is still better that you have saving. What do we have at B+? That maybe... I kind of wonder if maybe that should be an A- game. You know, I'm kind of looking like the original F-Zero. Parkerville's Actraiser. You know what? I think I might put that in A-, actually. I think that game's pretty neat. It's got some flaws. Like, I still agree that the moon logic should be there, because if you don't know about the warping by just shooting random areas, the last section's literally impossible. Also, I don't know why I didn't mark it, but I think the music is fairly good. That being said, I think that's probably good. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say as a concept, I think the way to, like, the map, I think is an interesting concept. I don't know how well it's executed. Namely, I don't think it's that well executed. But I still think it's neat. So, there's that for Section Z. So, back to our regular schedule programming. Okay, so let us pull a card and see if we see what possibly could we be dealing with next. Three, well, we're dealing with the checkpoint. So, chat. Keep in mind this is based on a library. So, do you want to see? You will see clearly in a moment what this checkpoint is based off of. Do you want to turn to page 3 for the... Do you want to choose to go on the more active path? You are given a thing of two paths. Do you want to go on the more active path? Or do you want to go on the, say, more accurate path at page 8? The thing that is more accurate to the source material? Or do you want to see another kind of adaptation of it that's more active? Okay, so 1 for more accurate, 2 for more accurate. Anyone else want to help choose? Going once. Going twice. All right. So, what could possibly be down the more accurate path? It is a game that the name of it kind of goes off the screen. But it is Deathtrap Dungeon, the interactive video adventure. So this is based off of Ian Livingstone's Deathtrap Dungeon, which is, I want to say, the 4th book in the fighting fantasy series of choose your own adventure books. So this is also an interesting game because this game does something very bad, which is it starts immediately up. Does not give you anything to work with. It just kind of starts. Also, I gotta... Oh, I can definitely tell what thumbnail is the one for this one. So, Deathtrap Dungeon, the interactive video adventure, it brought out by Branching Narrative Limited, which I want to say, I want to check something on Steam real quick. Because I want to say there is another interesting party around this. Okay, it isn't. I thought Wales Interactive was involved with this, but no, this is... an FMV game, which is... I don't think I've done one of these for Journal yet. So let's try some Deathtrap Dungeon. Also, it's going to start up immediately, but I can restart it.
Despite its name, Fang was an ordinary small town.
Oh! This is an interesting thing on OBS I've never seen before.
On the banks of a river.
You quiet.
It made a convenient stopover for river traders and passengers.
Okay. I've never gotten the warning that games built in Chromium cannot be captured with game capture. That's interesting. Okay, there. Okay, I can capture with window capture. So, let me check. Okay, it should be capturing now. Okay, good. Yes, you're not supposed to be hearing anything at the moment. First off, we're going to do this, and this, and this, and this.
Despite its name, Fang was an ordinary...
Also, yeah, no title screen, nothing. It goes straight in.
Province of Chiang Mai, situated on the banks of a river. It made a convenient stopover for river traders and passengers throughout most of the year. A few barges, rafts, and sometimes even a large sailboat could usually be found moored at Fang. But all that was long ago, before the creation of the Trial of Champions. Now, once a year, the river is crammed with boats as people arrive from hundreds of miles around, hoping to witness the breaking of an ancient tradition and see a victor in the Trial of Champions.
Oh, here we go. Tell more about it.
On the 1st of May each year, warriors and heroes come to Fang to face the test of their lives. Survival is unlikely, yet many take the risk, for the prize is great. A purse of 10,000 gold pieces and the freedom of Chiang Mai forever. But to become champion is no easy task. Some years ago, a powerful baron of Fang called Sukhumvit decided to bring attention to his town by creating the ultimate contest. With the help of the townspeople, he constructed a labyrinth deep in the hillside behind Fang, from which there was only one exit. The labyrinth was filled with all kinds of deadly tricks and traps and loathsome monsters. Sukhumvit had designed it in meticulous detail, so that anybody hoping to face its challenge would have to use their wits as well as weapon skill. When he was finally satisfied that all was complete, he put his labyrinth to the test. He picked 10 of his finest guards, and fully armed, they marched into the labyrinth. They were never seen again. The tale of the ill-fated guards soon spread throughout the land, and it was then that Sukhumvit announced the first trial of champions. Messengers and news sheets carried his challenge, 10,000 gold pieces and freedom of Chiang Mai forever to any person surviving the perils of the labyrinth of Fang. The first year, 17 brave warriors attempted the walk, as it later became known. Not one reappeared. As the years passed and the trial of champions continued, it attracted more and more challengers and spectators.
Okay,
Fang prospered, and
that
would
was
prepare
weird.
itself months in advance for the spectacle it hosted each May. The town would be decorated, tents erected, dining halls built, musicians, dancers.
Okay, I guess it just decided to trigger
and
the
every
donations
sort of
thing.
entertainer hired, and entries registered from hopeful individuals intent on making the walk. The last week of April found the people of Fang and its visitors in wild celebration.
I'm trying to figure out who this guy has been in. This is Ray Marsden, by the way.
Until the day broke on the 1st of May, when the town thronged to the gates of the labyrinth to watch the first challenger of the year step forward to face the trial of champions. Having seen one of Sukhumvit's challenges nailed to a tree, you decide that this year you will attempt the walk. For the last 5 years, you have been attracted to it not for the rewards, but for the simple fact that nobody has ever yet emerged victorious from the labyrinth. You intend to make this the year in which a champion is crowned. Gathering up a few belongings, you set off immediately. 2 days' walk takes you west to the coast, where you enter the cursed port, Black Sand. Wasting no time in that city of thieves, you buy your passage on a small boat sailing north to where the river Coke meets the sea, and from there you raft upriver for 4 days, until finally you arrive in Fang. The trial begins in 3 days' time, and the town is in an almost hysterical mood of excitement. You register your entry with the officials and are given a violet scarf to tie around your arm, informing everyone of your status. For 3 days, you enjoy Fang's greatest hospitality and are treated like a demigod.
This thing feels like a shit
During
post.
the long merriment, you almost forget your purpose in Fang. But the evening before the trial, the magnitude of the task ahead begins to dominate your thoughts. Later, you are taken to a special guest house and are shown your room.
This is going to turn into an
There is
Tim and
a
Eric
splendid
sketch.
four-poster bed with satin sheets to help you rest. But there is little time left for sleep.
Oh, that's
Just
bright.
before dawn,
Oh,
a trumpet call awakens you from vivid dreams of flaming pits and giant black spiders. Minutes later, there is a knock on your door, and a man's voice rings out saying, Your challenge begins soon. Please be ready to leave in 10 minutes. You climb out of bed, walk over to the window and open the shutters. Already people are thronging the streets, moving quietly through the morning mist. Spectators, no doubt on their way to the labyrinth, hoping to find good vantage points from which to watch the competitors. Walking over to a wooden table on which your trusty sword and shield lie, you pick them up and cut the air with a mighty sweep, wondering which beasts your sword's sharp edge may soon have to meet. You open the door into the corridor, and a small man greets you with a low bow as you emerge from your bedroom. "Please follow me," he says. He turns to his left and walks quickly towards the stairs at the end of the corridor. Walking through a parting in the crowds, you see Baron Suckenbit himself, standing by the entrance waiting to greet the contender in the trial of champions. You count 5 others standing proudly in line, their violet scarves displayed for all to see. There are 2 bare-chested barbarians dressed in furs. They stand completely motionless, legs straight and slightly apart, arms thrust forward to rest on the hilts of their long, double-headed battle axes. A sleek elven woman with golden hair and feline green eyes is adjusting the crossbelt of daggers wrapped around her leather tunic. Of the 2 remaining men, one is covered from head to foot in iron plate armor, with a plumed helmet and a crested shield. The other is cloaked in black robes, only his dark eyes showing between the swarms of his black-faced scars.
So this is a portrait from the book.
A wire garrote and other silent death weapons hang from his belt. The 5 contenders acknowledge your arrival with almost imperceptible nods of the head, and you turn to face the exultant crowd for the last time. Suddenly, a hush falls over the crowd as Baron Suckenbit steps forward, holding 6 bamboo sticks. You draw one from his outstretched hand, and you read the word, 5th. Then the trial begins. The knight is first. He salutes the crowd before disappearing into the tunnel, and is followed half an hour later by the elf. Next goes a barbarian, and then the dark assassin. Next, it's your turn. But before embarking on your adventure, we must first determine your own strengths and weaknesses.
Oop.
You have in your possession a sword, a shield, and a backpack for carrying provisions for the trip. You have been preparing for your quest by training yourself in swordplay and exercising vigorously. To see how effective your preparations have been, dice will be rolled to determine your skill, stamina, and luck scores. Or, if you wish to begin your adventure immediately, you can choose between 3 ready-made adventurers.
Let's see. Should we see who the ready-made adventurers are, or should we roll? One for roll. Yeah. You know what? Let's roll.
First, we'll roll for your initial level of skill. This reflects your sword skill and fighting expertise, and will be determined by rolling 1 die and adding 6.
Oh. There we go. 11. That seems fine.
Next, we'll roll for your initial stamina, which represents your strength. So the higher your stamina score, the longer you will survive. This will be determined by rolling 2 dice and adding 12.
I okay. Sure. I am surprised they let you just do it forever. There we go. Let's do 22.
Next, we'll roll for your initial luck, which represents how lucky an adventurer you are. Luck and magic are facts of life in the fantasy world you're about to explore. This is determined by rolling one die and adding 6.
No, let's go 11. I knew this man just blinking at me aggressively.
You may also take a magical potion with you to aid you on your quest. Each bottle of potion contains 2 measures, so can be used twice during an adventure. You can choose from a potion of skill that restores your skill points to their initial amount, a potion of strength that restores your stamina points to their initial amount, or a potion of fortune that not only restores your luck points to their initial amount, but will also increase your initial luck score by 1 each time it's used.
Let's see. Let's go with... Let's go Potion of Strength.
Lastly, before you begin your quest, you are given enough provisions for 10 meals. When you eat a meal, your stamina score will increase by 4 points. But don't forget, your stamina can never exceed the initial amounts you've just set. You have a long way to go, so use your provisions wisely. During your adventure, you'll enter into combat a number of times, and the further you go, the tougher your opponents will be. Combat takes place over several rounds, and your attack strength is based on yours and your enemy's skill scores. For each round of battle, we'll roll 2 dice for you and 2 for your opponent, adding the results to your skill scores. These are your respective attack strengths. Whoever's attack strength is the highest wins that round of combat. If you both had the same attack strength in a round, then it will be a tie. In some battles, you can take an opportunity to escape. But beware. If you do run away, your opponent will automatically score 1 hit on you as you flee, costing you 2 stamina points. So be sure you have enough. Such is the price of cowardice. You are playing using the new battle system, where the battle takes place over 3 rounds. Your sheer battle-hardened nature will mean you'll always win the battle after the 3 rounds, but every round you lose will cost you 2 stamina points. So be careful. Losing all your stamina will still be fatal. At the start of each round, you'll have a short time to decide to fight or to build up your stamina by eating your provisions or taking a potion, if you have one.
I'm curious what the original battle system was.
You are playing using the traditional battle system from the original Deathtrap dungeon book. At the start of each round, you'll have a short time to decide to fight or to build up your stamina by eating your provisions or taking a potion, if you have one. After each battle round, you'll be able to test your luck. By using luck in battles, you can either score a more serious wound on your opponent or minimize the effects of a wound scored on you. If you test your luck after you have just wounded your opponent, we'll roll 2 dice, and if the total is the same or less than your current luck score, you will have been lucky and will take an extra 2 points from your opponent's stamina. But if the roll is greater, then the damage to your opponent will be halved. If your opponent has just inflicted a 2 stamina wound on you, a lucky roll will halve that damage, but an unlucky roll will take an additional stamina point. One last thing. Testing your luck has a cost. Each time you test your luck score will be reduced by 1 point.
Let's go back to the new one.
You are playing using the new battle system, where the battle takes place over 3 rounds. Your sheer battle-hardened nature will mean you'll always win the battle after the 3 rounds, but every round you lose will cost you 2 stamina points. So be careful. Losing all your stamina will still be fatal. At the start of each round,
There we go.
now it is your turn to salute the crowd. Holding your violet scarf aloft, you take one final deep breath of cool, fresh air before turning to pass between the stone-pillared gateway into Succumvit's corridors of power to face unknown perils on the walk through the mighty Baron's Deathtrap dungeon. The clamour of the excited spectators gradually fades behind you as you venture deep into the gloom of the cavern. Large crystals hang from the tunnel roof at 20-metre intervals, radiating just enough soft light for you to see your way. As your eyes gradually become accustomed to the near darkness, you begin to see movement all around. Spiders and beetles crawling up and down the chiseled walls disappear quickly into cracks and crevices as they sense your approach. Rats and mice scurry along the floor ahead of you. Droplets of water drip into small pools with an eerie plopping sound which echoes down the tunnel. The air is cold, moist, and dank. After walking slowly along the tunnel for about 5 minutes, you arrive at a stone table standing against the wall to your left. On it, there are 6 boxes, one of which has your name painted on its lid. The lid of the box lifts off easily, and inside you find 2 gold pieces and a note written on a small piece of parchment addressed to you. After placing the gold in your pocket, you read the message, which says, "Well done. At least you had the sense to stop and take advantage of the token aid given to you. Now I can advise you that you will need to find and use several items if you hope to pass triumphantly through my Deathtrap dungeon. Signed, Succumvit." Memorizing the advice on the note, you tear it into tiny pieces and continue north along the tunnel, where you come to a junction. A white arrow painted on one wall points west. On the floor, you can see wet footprints made by those who entered before you. It's hard to be sure, but it looks as though 3 of them followed the direction of the arrow, while one decided to go east.
Shall we head west or east? Let's... You know what? Let's go east.
Ahead, you can see a large obstruction on the tunnel floor. Although it is too dark to make out exactly what it is, the wet, eastbound footprints you have been following carry on towards the obstruction.
Let's go east.
You see that the obstruction is a large, brown, boulder-like object. You touch it with your hand and are surprised to find that it is soft and spongy.
We have skill points. Let's do this.
Your sword easily pierces the thin outer casing of the giant spore ball.
Oh.
A thick brown cloud of spores bursts out of the ball and envelops you. Some of the spores stick to your skin and start to itch terribly. You lose 2 stamina points as great lumps come up on your face and arms, and your skin feels as if it is on fire. Frantically scratching your itching lumps, you step over the now deflated spore ball. Pressing on east, you turn left, which heads north for as far as you can see. The footprints you are following start to peter out as the tunnel becomes gradually drier. Soon you are beyond the dripping roof and the pools on the floor. You notice the air becoming hotter, and you find yourself panting even though you are walking quite slowly. In a small recess on the left-hand wall, you see a section of bamboo standing on its end. Lifting it down, you see it is filled with a clear liquid. Your throat is painfully dry.
This is a trap.
And you feel a little dizzy from the heat in the tunnel.
This seems like a trap. Let's go north.
You shake your head, trying desperately to stop yourself from blacking out. But the heat is too much for you, and you fall unconscious to the floor, wishing you had a cool drink.
Oh.
This will be a test of your skill.
Oh.
We'll roll 2 dice, and if the number rolled is equal to or less than your current skill score, you have been skillful. But if it's higher, then your skill will have been found lacking. Your immense strength and grim determination and our skillful dice roll keeps you from falling unconscious to the floor. You grit your teeth and press on resolutely, as mercifully the temperature drops rapidly and soon feels almost cool again. On the left-hand side of the tunnel is a closed door. It has a small iron plate in it, which looks like it might slide open. The small plate slides open easily, and you find yourself peering into a room with a deep pit in the floor behind the door. On the opposite wall, there is a coil of rope hanging on one of 2 iron hooks.
Fortune favors bold.
The door swings open into the room, and you step back and jump over the pit. You put the rope in your backpack and jump back over the pit to leave the room and head north. Ahead, you see that the tunnel turns sharply to the left. You turn a corner and almost bump straight into 2 fierce-looking orcs armed with morning stars and wearing leather armor. You are totally unprepared for them and struggle to ready your weapons. The orcs roar. And as you draw your sword, one of them swings its morning star at you, which, thankfully, crashes into your shield, bouncing off harmlessly. The tunnel is too narrow for both of them to attack you at once, so you fight them, one at a time.
Let's go.
The orc is strong but slow, and you're able to strike hard with your sword. Your shield protects you from the orc's frenzied attack, while you're able to hack at its leg. You raise your sword to parry the attack, and are able to kick the orc hard in the stomach.
The first orc slumps lifeless to the floor, so you turn your attention to the other.
The orc is strong but slow, and you're able to strike hard with your sword. Your shield protects you from the orc's frenzied attack, while you're able to hack at its leg. You raise your sword to parry the attack, and are able to kick the orc hard in the stomach.
Inside one of the orc's pockets, you find one gold piece and a hollow wooden tube. You put your findings in your backpack and set off west. As you walk along, droplets of water again start falling from the tunnel's ceiling. Heading west, you see wet footprints made by the same boots that you followed earlier. They lead to a closed iron door in the right-hand wall of the tunnel, but do not seem to go any further. The door opens into a large chamber, where you are shocked to see one of your rivals who has obviously met a sudden gory death.
Oop.
It is one of the barbarians, and he is impaled on several long iron spikes that are fixed to a frame which has sprung out of the floor. A lot of debris litters the floor, concealing a hidden tripwire which he must have stepped on, releasing the spiked frame. In the far wall is an alcove, in which you can see a silver goblet standing on a small wooden table. The pouch on the barbarian's belt is empty, apart from some strange-looking dried meat wrapped in a cloth.
Yeah, no, not gonna deal with it.
You walk slowly over to the alcove, carefully checking the floor for any more hidden traps. You see that the goblet contains a sparkling red liquid.
All right, Chad. Do we drink the Kool-Aid? All right.
As you lift the goblet, it releases a sprung catch, and a dart shoots out of the wooden table leg. This will be a test of your luck. We'll roll 2 dice, and if the number rolled is equal to or less than your current luck score, you have been lucky. But if the roll is higher than your luck score, then your luck isn't in. Your reflexes are sharp, and you quickly jump aside. The dart whistles past, only just missing you, and thuds into the opposite wall. You see the goblet lying on the floor, and the red liquid running away in rivulets over the grey stone. At least the goblet may be of use. So you put it in your backpack, leave the chamber, and continue west. The passage soon leads to a junction where you notice more footprints on the floor, possibly as many as 3 pairs, heading north from the south passage. You decide to follow them to where the passage opens out into a wide cavern, which is darker but much drier. Ahead, you see the footprints gradually fade, then disappear. There is a large idol in the center of the cavern that must be 6 meters high. In its head are jeweled eyes, each as big as your fist. On either side of the idol stand 2 giant stuffed, bird-like creatures.
This seems like a massive trap. Something about I'm not touching it. We're gonna leave this guy. He seems like he's living his best life.
Not much farther down the tunnel, you come to a closed door on your left. Putting your ear to the door, you listen intently but hear nothing. You enter a room which is small and completely empty. As soon as you are inside, the door slams shut behind you. Suddenly a voice booms out of nowhere, shouting, "Welcome to Deathtrap Dungeon, the ingenious killer labyrinth of my master. Adventurer, I trust you will pay your respects to my master by shouting out his name." You take a deep breath and shout, "Hail Circumvit!" Once again, the mysterious voice calls out. Only this time its tone is full of contempt and derision. "So, we have a sniveling weed in our midst, do we?" sneers the voice. "My master has a special gift for you, loathsome creep." Suddenly, water starts pouring into the room through a hole in the ceiling.
Uh-oh.
It soon rises above your ankles, and there is no apparent way of escape. You wade back to the door. It is firmly locked, but in desperation you try ramming it with your shoulder. We'll see how skillful you really are. Remember, a roll equal to or less than your skill score means you have been skillful, but a roll higher than your skill could end badly. The door cannot withstand the furious battering you are giving it. The center panel cracks and splinters, enabling you to kick a hole in it large enough for you to squeeze through. Soaked, but happy to have survived your ordeal, you set off north again. The tunnel twists and turns, but keeps steadily north. Ahead, you see a thin shaft of blue light streaming down from the ceiling to the floor. It sparkles and shimmers, and you can see images of laughing faces in the light.
I'm not going to disturb their good time.
You come to an arched doorway set in the right-hand wall of the tunnel. The heavy stone door is closed, but there is an iron latch and a round handle.
I mean, might as well try the door.
Lifting the latch and pushing the heavy stone door open, You find yourself in a large cavern. The light is dim and murky, but as your eyes begin to adjust, you see that the walls are covered in green algae and running with moisture. The floor is strewn with straw. The atmosphere is warm, damp, and fetid, and a soft humming sound fills the air. You step gingerly through the straw towards a corner of the cabin where there appears to be a shallow pit. Peering warily into the pit, you are disgusted to see a mass of pale, writhing worms, some as much as 1/2 meter long. Nauseated, you are about to turn away when you notice that their undulating bodies are swarming around a dagger, its point held fast in a crack in the pit floor. The hilt is cased in black leather, studded with opals, and the blade is fashioned from a strange, reddish-black burnished metal you have never seen before. You long to touch the dagger, but this would mean plunging your hand in among the writhing worms.
Look, that's a cool-ass dagger, and I have a shit ton of health.
Taking a deep breath, you lean over the pit and plunge your forearm into the mass of wriggling worms. They are cold and clammy and feel extremely nasty, but at least they are harmless, and you are able to seize the dagger by the hilt. You give it a hard tug, and it comes away from the crack in which the tip was embedded. Admiring its beauty and wondering whether it might once have belonged to some luckless contestant, you put the opal-studded dagger firmly in your belt and leave the cabin. As you make your way back to the doorway, the buzzing sound increases in intensity, and you look around desperately to discover where it's coming from. Glancing up in the nick of time, you see a huge and grotesque black shape of a giant fly emerging from a recess high up in the cavern wall. As it gets closer, you realize that it's at least 1.5 meters long. Its opaque wings vibrate, making the sickening buzzing noise you can hear, and its 6 black, hairy legs are poised to grasp your body. Below, its multifaceted eyes is a long, shiny black proboscis, which darts in and out venomously. You have stolen the giant fly's treasure from her brood of maggots, and you must face the consequences. It's time to test your luck again. Remember, a roll equal to or less than your luck score means you've been lucky, but a roll higher than your luck could end badly. The giant fly swoops down again to try to capture you, but this time you manage to evade its outstretched legs. Stepping back, you draw your sword to prepare to fight the hideous insect as it turns to attack you again. The creature flies at you so close you can't use your weapons. Grabbing it by its legs, you swing around, slamming it into a wall. You spin your sword around your head, clipping the fly and removing part of one of its legs. You hurl yourself at your enemy, fist flailing, and land stunned.
Just punch that thing in the face.
Pleased with your victory, you wipe the vile yellow slime from the blade of your sword and walk quickly to the door, back to the tunnel, and head north. The tunnel ends shortly at a junction. Looking left and right, you see a narrow passage disappearing into the dim distance.
Let's go west.
Ahead, you hear the sound of rocks being ground and crushed. The noise grows louder, and suddenly you realize that the wall on your right is starting to collapse. Terrified, you watch as a large, hideous, worm-like creature with a gaping mouth and powerful mandibles slithers through a hole in the wall. Its great jaws continue to crunch the rock as it turns its head slowly from side to side, feeling the cool air in the tunnel. It appears to be totally blind, but seems to know of your presence, perhaps sensing the heat of your body. It starts to slither towards you with its mandibles wide apart to attack.
Let's go.
You draw your sword and advance slowly towards the huge, slimy rock grub. The rock grub is strong, but slow. You swing your sword, which smashes into its pulsating body. You thrust your sword, and you clearly damage the creature. Picking up a rock, you manage to smash it into the head of the rock grub. It screeches in pain, withdrawing enough for you to ready for another attack. Pleased with your combat skills, you step round the great bulk of the dead rock grub and peer into the darkness of the borehole it left. You can only see a few meters, but are able to make out that it inclines slightly and is wet from the secreted slime of the rock grub.
You know what? Let's not go look down the borehole.
After a long walk down the tunnel, you come to a dead end. A large mirror reaching from the ceiling to the floor hangs on the end wall. And in the dim light, you can just about make out your own reflection.
Let's take a closer look.
You step up to the mirror and are amused by your distorted reflection. Your head looks as large as a pumpkin.
I appreciate this guy looking at, like, turning around and look at this idiot.
Suddenly,
he looked in the mirror.
Without warning, a terrible pain pounds through your head, and you try to look away from the mirror, but you are unable to. Some evil force is keeping your eyes glued to your own reflection. You grip your head with your hands and realize, with horror, that it is expanding. You can withstand it no longer, and blacking out with pain, you fall unconscious to the floor, never to wake.
Wait.
Your adventure ends here.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Oh, I guess there's...
Ahead, you hear the sound of rocks being rolled.
Oh, it's right here.
You try to run around the side of the creature.
Oh, that took a lot of damage.
The rock grub.
Oh, I got my health back.
You thrust your sword, and you clearly damaged her. Pleased with your
Okay, here we go.
Passing the rock grub's borehole on your left, you soon arrive at the junction. You take a quick look down the tunnel leading south, but do not see anybody approaching. Quickening your step, you hurry on, east. You walk down the passage and soon find yourself standing at the edge of a deep, dark pit. The passage continues east on the other side of the pit. You think you could probably jump over the pit, but you are not sure. There is a rope hanging down from the ceiling over the center of the pit.
Okay, I like the description. Jump over the pit carrying all your possession. Let's do that.
Just as you're about to release the shield and throw it over the pit, it slips from your fingers and rolls away. You are unable to catch it before it falls over the edge of the pit, clattering down its sides to the bottom. The loss of your shield reduces your fighting ability, decreasing your skill points by 1. Cursing your own clumsiness, you step forward, leap across the pit.
Wait, I'm curious.
The tunnel makes
oh,
a
it won't let
left
me do
turn
that.
and continues north.
Wait, actually, can
as
I?
far as you can see. You soon arrive at a closed wooden door in the left-hand wall. The door opens into a large candlelit room filled with incredibly lifelike statues of knights and warriors. A white-haired old man dressed in tattered rags jumps out from behind one of the statues and starts to giggle. Though he looks like a fool, the sparkle in his eyes makes you think there is more to him. In a high-pitched voice, he says, "Oh, good! Another stone for my garden. I'm glad you have come to join your friends. Now, I'm a fair man, so I'll ask you a question. If you answer correctly, I'll let you go free. But if your answer is wrong, I'll turn you to stone." He starts to chuckle again, obviously pleased with your arrival.
Let's see, what is this question?
The old man points at one of the statues, and you recognize it immediately. It is the knight who started the trial of champions. The agonized look on his face locked in stone for eternity. The old man smiles, saying, "This man weighs 100 pounds plus half his weight. How much does he weigh?" What will you answer?
Let's see, he weighs 100 pounds plus half his weight. That would... on the face of it, be 150, but... £100. Wait. The man weighs 100 pounds and half his weight. Which that would be... I mean, it would be... Wait, wouldn't it be 200? I think it would be 200.
Still smiling, the old man looks at you and says, "Well done, stranger. You have answered correctly. I wish you good fortune during the rest of the trial of champions. And to this end, I shall increase your powers." He then mutters a few more unintelligible words, and you feel a powerful surge soar through your body, increasing your skill, stamina, and luck by 1. You bid the old man farewell.
Oh, I'm at max.
And leave
Okay.
his room to continue north along the passage. Only a few meters further down the passage, you see another closed door in the left-hand wall.
Oh, it's probably...
The letter X is scratched into its center panel. Putting your ear to the door, you listen intently, but can hear nothing.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with that.
The passage slowly starts to climb, leading you relentlessly northwards. There are no doorways or even an alcove to investigate, and you become less guarded as you plod on. After a while, you become so nonchalant that you fail to notice a thin tripwire stretched low across the passage. It is only when your foot catches it and you hear a distant rumble that you realize your mistake. The rumbling sound swells to an almost deafening level, and suddenly, out of the gloom of the tunnel ahead, you see a massive boulder rolling towards you, gathering speed with every second. You turn to flee the oncoming boulder. You run faster than you have ever run in your life, but still the boulder is catching up on you. This is a tough one, a test of both your skill and stamina. We'll roll 2 dice, and if the number rolled is equal to or less than both your skill and stamina scores, you should be fine. But if the number rolled is more than either of them, then things could end very badly.
Okay. Well,
your fear gives you a new surge of energy, and somehow your tired legs manage to keep you in front of the boulder. Ahead, on your right, you see the welcome sight of a doorway. You lunge at the door, and mercifully it flies open. The boulder thunders past you, and you are left lying exhausted on the floor of a large room. Looking around you, you see an alcove in the west wall and a stone chair in the middle of the room. Sitting in the chair is the skeleton of an armed warrior, possibly a contestant from years gone by. The skeletal fingers of its right hand grip a crumpled parchment. Touching the parchment has precisely the effect you had feared. The skeleton lurches forward, and rising from its chair in a series of jerky movements, raises its sword to strike you. Lunging sideways, you draw your sword to defend yourself.
yeah, here we go.
You run around the jerking skeleton, smashing your sword into its arm. The skeleton is strong, but slow. You swing your sword, which smashes into its leg. You dodge to the side as the warrior swings its sword. You kick out, knocking its legs out from under it. Once again, you reach for the parchment, only this time lying amidst a pile of broken bones. Unfolding it, you see a map of a room with a drawing of a hideous creature inside it. Beneath the monster is a rhyme, which reads, "Should you meet the manticore, of its tail beware. Shield yourself against the spikes, flying through the air." You fold up the piece of parchment and put it in your backpack, repeating the rhyme over and over to yourself. You walk across to the alcove. At the back of the alcove are some steps leading down into a cellar. Cobwebs brush your face as you descend. The cellar ceiling is quite low, and the floor is strewn with debris. In the middle of the wall opposite you is an archway, which leads into another crystal-lit tunnel. There are large mushrooms growing on the debris to your right.
Yeah, no, we're not dealing with mushrooms.
The tunnel continues west for several hundred meters, finally ending at some steps leading up to a closed trap door. You climb the steps slowly, hearing muffled voices above you. In the dim light, you can see that the trap door is not locked. You hear footsteps, and suddenly the trapdoor is thrown back, For a few seconds, you are completely blinded by the bright light from the room above, and do not see the goblin thrust in his spear downwards, or hear his sadistic laughter as the point pierces your neck.
Oh, okay.
Your adventure ends here.
Oh, actually... Actually, I can go back and get that shield.
You walk down the passage. Taking a step forward, you leap towards the edge of the pit. How lucky are you feeling? Rolling equal to or less than your luck score means you've been lucky, but a higher roll could cost you. Your armor and sword weigh you down, but you just manage to land safely on the far edge of the pit. You waste no time and head east. The tunnel makes a sudden left turn and continues north as far as you can see. You soon arrive at a closed wooden door in the left-hand wall. The door opens into a large candlelit room filled with incredibly lifelike statues of knights.
Oh, okay,
and
so...
warriors. The old man points at one of the statues, and you recognize it immediately. It is the knight who started the trial of champions. The agonized look on his face locked in stone for eternity. The old man smiles, saying, "This man..." Still smiling. Only a few meters further down the passage, you see another closed door in the left-hand wall. The letter X. You run faster than you.
Okay.
Your fear.
Okay, we're gonna do the fight again.
You both swing for each other, and in the confusion, you run around the jerking. The skeleton is strong, but
There we go.
Once again, you reach. At the back
Get the
of the
manticore
alcove
thing.
are some steps leading down into a.
Through the archway. Burst through the trapdoor.
You throw the trapdoor open and run up the steps into a bright, lantern-lit room. Two goblins are sharpening their short swords on a stone set in the middle of the floor. You catch them momentarily off guard, but they quickly recover and both rush forward to attack you. A point of note here, adventurer. Because of the shape of the room, both goblins will have a separate attack on you each attack round. However, here your attack will only be effective on one of the goblins. Against the other, you must still use your attack strength in a normal way. But even if your attack would have been effective, you will not wound it. It will just count this as though you have defended yourself. However, if its attack strength is greater, it will have wounded you in the normal way.
Okay.
you thrust your sword, and you lunge at the creature's stomach with your sword drawn, but the creature whips around. Your enemy is strong, but sick. You both swing for each other, and in the confusion, both miss. You hurl yourself at your enemy, fists.
Okay, that one's dead, I think.
You thrust your sword, and you clearly damage her. Your enemy is strong, but slow, and slick. You hurl yourself at your enemy, fists flailing, and land a stunning blow.
Triumphant in one of your toughest battles to date, you see that the only furniture in the goblin's room is a table, 2 chairs, and a cupboard on the wall. There are 2 closed doors, one in the west wall and the other in the north wall.
Let's open the cupboard.
The cupboard contains a wooden mallet and 10 iron spikes, which you put in your backpack while wondering which door to open.
Let's go north.
The door opens into another tunnel, which rises gently into the distance. After walking uphill for a while, the tunnel levels out, and you soon arrive at a door in the right-hand wall, to which a withered hand is nailed. You enter a room in which a man in tattered clothing is standing chained to the wall by his left arm, and you see that his right hand is missing and realize that this must be the one nailed to the door. Pleading for mercy, he cowers back from you as far as his chains will allow.
Sure, let's go free.
You step up to the frightened man and cleave the chain with your sword. He drops to his knees and bows, thanking you over and over again. He tells you that 4 years ago, he entered the trial of champions but failed. He fell down a pit and had to be rescued by a trial master, one of Baron Succumvit's dungeon administrators. He was offered a choice between death or servitude in Deathtrap dungeon as the trial master's minion. Choosing the latter, he worked like a slave until he could stand it no longer and tried to escape. Alas, he was unsuccessful and was captured by the trial master's wandering orc guards. To teach him a lesson, they cut off his hand and condemned him to a year's imprisonment in this cell. You ask him whether he has any information that might be of use to you. He scratches his head. Well, I haven't exactly done very well in here myself, but I do know that you need to collect gems and precious stones if you hope to get out. I don't know why, but there it is. Without another word, the ragged prisoner dashes out of the room, turning left into the tunnel. You decide to keep heading north and turn right. There is an open pipe in the right-hand wall, about 1 meter in diameter. It is too dark to see far down it. You shout into it and hear your voice echoing down the iron pipe until eventually the sound fades away.
Yeah, let's not deal with the pipe.
There is a new branch in the tunnel on your left, and ahead you see 2 bodies lying on the floor. You stop and peer down the new tunnel, but seeing no doors or creatures, you decide against walking down it. With your sword drawn, you walk over to the bodies of the 2 orc guards. At least one of your rivals in the trial of champions must still be ahead of you. A quick search of the bodies produces nothing, apart from a necklace of teeth around the neck of one of the orcs. The tunnel soon ends at a junction. Standing there alone and wondering which way to go is one of your rivals. It is one of the barbarians. You call out to him, but at first he does not answer. He merely stares at you coldly, his hands firmly gripping.
Is he wearing sunglasses?
You walk up to him and ask which way he is heading. He grunts his reply, saying that he is going west, and you may go with him if you wish.
Safety numbers.
Although you are slightly uneasy in each other's company, knowing that there can only be one winner in the trial of champions, you are both content to share in the benefits of a temporary alliance. and you begin to tell each other of your exploits so far, of the monsters and traps encountered and the dangers overcome. Walking along, you soon come to the edge of a wide pit. It is too deep and dark to see to the bottom. The barbarian suggests he lowers you to the bottom with his rope, saying he has a torch which he can light for you to use.
We could jump.
The barbarian reluctantly agrees to your alternative suggestion. You both step back and take running jumps over the pit, landing safely on the other side. Pleased with the ease with which you clear the obstacle, you continue down the tunnel. The barbarian, now a little reckless, fails to see a raised floor stone, which tilts forward as he stumbles over it, releasing a huge boulder loosely set in the ceiling. The rock crashes down on top of the barbarian,
Lol.
knocking him to the floor, crushing his skull. You must now continue your quest alone.
Lol.
Feeling sorry for the loss of your new companion, you carry on down the tunnel. Suddenly you see daylight. You run towards the most beautiful sight you have seen for a long time and emerge, expecting to see the welcoming sight of cheering people. But there is no hero's welcome from the people all around you. They are dead. You are standing in a cold chamber littered with armored skeletons and bodies. The exit to victory was just an illusion. Only the corpses of the past adventures are real. Utterly dejected, you walk back towards the tunnel, but hit an invisible barrier. You, like the adventurers tricked before you, are trapped in this ghoulish place and destined to end your days in the chamber of the dead.
Oh, okay. Oh, where's my mouse? There it is. Wait, why can I not? There it is.
Although you are...
Okay, I guess... Sure, let's see how the barbarian does
You
that.
tie the rope around your waist and take hold of the lighted torch given to you by Throm, as your barbarian ally calls himself. Taking hold of the slack rope, Throm lowers you slowly over the edge of the pit and down into the dark depths below. You can see by the light of the torch that the sides of the pit are extremely smooth. You drop about 20 meters before hitting the bottom of the pit. There, you see another tunnel heading north, and you call up to Throm and tell him of your discovery. He calls back, saying that he is going to tie the rope around a protruding rock on the edge of the pit and will come down and join you. You hear him climbing down, and soon you are together again. Throm retrieves his rope by shaking it off the rock, and you set off north along the new tunnel. On a stone ledge in the tunnel wall, you see two dusty leather-bound books. Throm grunts his contempt for the written word, urging you to leave the books and hurry on. As you open the book, it immediately begins to disintegrate, the pages turning to dust in your hands. You manage to keep a few fragments and read the handwritten script. The book appears to be about monsters, and from what you can make out, it contains a full description of a monster called the Blood Beast. It is a horrific, bloated creature with tough, spiny skin and facial blisters which burst open to become mock eyes, evolved to hide the Blood Beast's only weak spot, the real eyes. blood beasts usually dwell in pools of fetid slime which give off a poisonous gas so strong that it alone can easily knock people unconscious. The blood beast, although too bulbous to haul itself out of its slime pool, has a long and vicious tongue which it wraps around its victims before it drags them into its pool. As the helpless and still living victim's flesh decomposes in the vile slime, the blood beast will feed on it. You tell Throm about the grotesque blood beast. He merely shrugs his shoulders and tells you to get going.
Let's open the black
The
book.
book pages are sealed together, but a small hole has been cut out in the middle of them, just large enough to hold a small corked bottle containing a clear liquid. You show it to Throm, who holds up his hand, indicating that he does not want you to come anywhere near him with it. His distrust of things unknown is strongly evident.
Let's not deal with that.
The tunnel turns sharply to the right, continuing east for as far as you can see. Throm stops and tells you to halt as well. He turns his head slowly from side to side, listening. I hear footsteps coming down the tunnel towards us, he whispers. Draw your sword. You both crouch down to hide in the shadows, and not a minute too soon. For a moment later, you see the silhouette of two armed guards. Throm jumps up and dashes forward, screaming a loud battle cry. They are two cave trolls. Throm attacks the first one with his battle axe, and you run to his aid to attack the second. You drop to the ground, sweeping away the troll's legs. It howls as its head hits the hard ground. You drop to the ground, grab the creature, and ram its head hard into the wall. You hurl yourself at your enemy, fists flailing, and land a stunning blow. You look to the left and see Throm standing over the cave troll he has slain. Blood is pouring out from a deep cut in his shoulder, but it does not seem to worry him. You search the bodies of the cave trolls, but find nothing apart from a bone ring on a leather cord hanging round the neck of one of them. The ring is engraved with a symbol which Throm recognizes. He explains that it must have belonged to druids of the north, and that an ancient talisman such as this will increase your powers if your body is able to accept it.
I mean, we're already at max, so let's see if we can get
As soon as you put the ring on your finger, your whole body starts to shake. We'll see how skillful you really are. Remember, a roll equal to or less than your skill score means you've been skillful, but a roll higher than your skill could end badly. Your body continues to vibrate intensely, and you feel as if you're about to pass out. But your strength is great, and you manage to withstand the tremendous shock to your system. Finally, you calm down and begin to feel the ring's beneficial powers working on you and adding 3 stamina points. You see Throm looking at you anxiously, so you reassure him that you are fully recovered. He strides off east, and you follow him eagerly. The tunnel leads into a damp cavern with a high ceiling and rock-strewn floor. Long and wet, teeth-like stalactites hang down threateningly. Their constant dripping creates milky pools on the floor. The tunnel carries on through an archway carved in the shape of a demonic mouse.
Let's see.
You walk around the cavern, but find nothing of interest. Throm calls out behind you, saying that he has found a leather pouch under a pile of rocks. Opening the pouch, he laughs out loud as a tiny mouse runs through his fingers and scurries off into the crevice behind 2 boulders. Suddenly, you hear the sound of cracking rock above you and look up to see stalactites breaking off from the roof. Throm's booming laugh, which still echoes through the chamber, has made the stalactites vibrate and break off. You yell at Throm to run through the archway as the stalactites start to crash to the floor. This will be a test of your luck. Despite the stalactites crashing all around you, you manage to dash through the archway without injury. You look around and see Throm thundering towards you, one arm held over his head for protection. He dashes into the tunnel and leans against the cold wall, panting heavily, apologizing for starting the rockfall, and offers you his hand to shake. You tell Throm that maybe he should use sign language in future, even for laughing. You both smile and head east once more.
At least he's chill.
The tunnel ends at a large oak door. Throm wastes no time in testing the handle and is somewhat surprised to find the door unlocked. He pushes it open and walks into a torch-lit chamber. Sitting alone on an ornate chair is a dwarf who bids you enter. As you do so, the oak door swings shut behind you. Adventurers, you have done well to get this far, says the dwarf in a deep voice. However, as you both know, there can only be one winner in the Trial of Champions. As Trial Master, it is my duty to Baron Circumvit to let only the most able continue. Therefore, I must devise a test of wits and strength to eliminate one of you. Please do not attempt to dispose of me. It will be utterly pointless, for, as you can see, there is no obvious way out of this chamber, and only I know where the hidden exit lies. Now, if you would care to decide between you who will go first, I shall make the necessary preparations. You look at Throm, suddenly angry that your effective partnership might come to an end.
White?
He leans over and whispers in your ear that you should try to kill the dwarf and worry about the exit later.
I'm curious to see how this would work.
You tell Throm that there is no point in killing the dwarf, as you will never find your way out of the chamber alone. You argue that an opportunity of tricking the dwarf might arise later, once you have found the exit from the chamber. So you intend to go through with the dwarf's test. You tell the dwarf that you are ready, and he beckons you to follow him, telling Throm to wait for his return. A secret door opens in the chamber wall, and you follow the dwarf into a small circular room. He closes the door behind you and hands you 2 bone dice, telling you to throw them onto the floor. You roll a 6 and a 2, a total of 8. The dwarf asks you to roll them again, but this time you must predict whether the total will be the same, less, or more than the 8.
I mean, statistically, it should be less.
The dwarf congratulates you for guessing correctly. He tells you that you must now progress to the second stage of the test. He reaches for a wicker basket and tells you that a snake is held within it. He tips the basket over, and the snake drops onto the floor. It is a cobra, and it rears up in the air, ready to strike. The dwarf tells you that he wishes to test your reactions. Barehanded, you must grasp the cobra below its head, avoiding its deadly fangs. You crouch down on the floor, tensing yourself for the moment to seize it. This will be a tough test of your skill. With lightning speed, you thrust your hand out and grip the cobra just below its open mouth. You lift it up, and with your arm outstretched, you dangle it in front of the dwarf. He doesn't flinch, but says in his calm, expressionless way,
Please put the cobra back in the basket and prepare for the final part of the test. Follow me.
You do what he says and follow him back into the chamber, where Throm is pacing up and down, obviously ill at ease. You wave to him while the dwarf opens a second secret door and tells you to walk on through and wait for him. Again you comply, and you find yourself in another circular room, although this one resembles a small arena. The floor is covered with sand, and a small balcony runs around the arena wall. Opposite the secret entrance you came in through is an ominous-looking wooden door. Suddenly you hear a shout, and you look up to see the smiling dwarf standing on the balcony. He throws 2 pieces of paper down to you. On one of them, the words, "No crop is," are written. On the other, "Ruin moat." In his ever-calm voice, he says,
If you rearrange the letters of the words, you will find the names of 2 creatures. You may choose which one to fight in my arena of death.
Okay.
Can you identify the creature by rearranging the letters?
One's a scorpion. And the other's a minotaur.
You call out to the dwarf, telling him to send in the scorpion because you are ready to fight. Slowly, the wooden door rises, and a huge, grotesque
Oh, it's a huge one.
black
Okay.
scorpion squeezes underneath it and enters the room. You draw your sword in readiness and prepare to fight the sinister creature with its huge pincers and deadly sting. The scorpion will attack you with both pincers, and you must treat each pincer as a separate creature, as though you were fighting 2 creatures. Each pincer has its own skill level and will attack you separately in each attack round. You can only fight 1 pincer in each attack round, attacking it as in a normal battle, but against the other pincer, you must still attack in the normal way.
Okay. Oh, it's still 10. Oh, good. This is gonna suck.
Your speed is improving. You run directly at... The scorpion charges at you with its pincers snapping. Your
There we go. Oh, that sucks.
swinging, venomous tail is a formidable weapon, and you shriek as it sinks into your arm. The scorpion swings its tail at you.
Okay.
The scorpion takes a run at you.
The win.
The scorpion charges at you with its pincers snapping. The scorpion swings its huge... Your speed is improving. The dwarf calls down from the balcony, congratulating you on your victory. He throws a sack down into the arena and tells you to relax and regain your strength for the final part of the test. Then he walks off, saying he will return in about 10 minutes. You open the sack and find a jug of wine and a cooked chicken. The food and drink are excellent, and you feel much better, gaining 2 more stamina points. Fully satisfied, you sit down and await the dwarf's return. After about 20 minutes, the dwarf reappears on the balcony. He calls down to you, saying,
Well, I do have an interesting problem on my hands. Prepare to fight your next opponent.
The wooden door rises once again, and you are surprised to see a familiar face. It is Throm. He is cut and badly bruised and doesn't seem to recognize you. He is clearly delirious as he staggers forward with his axe raised to attack you. The dwarf laughs and says,
The cobra bit him, but he has the strength of an ox and managed to carry on, even though most men would have died. Now you must fight him to decide finally which of you will continue the trial of champions.
You shout abuse at the dwarf, protesting the cruelty of such a contest. He merely laughs, and you have no option but to defend yourself against poor Throm. Despite his wounds, he is immensely strong.
All right.
Throm grabs you by the throat. Throm is tall, and you duck, grab him, and ram. You hurl yourself at Throm, fists flailing, and land a
Did they
stunning
not
blow
count that
on
die?
his chin. Exhausted by your long duel, you fall to your knees as you stare at Throm's still body. A bitter loathing for the dwarf fills your heart. Somehow, you will avenge Throm. Engulfed in your hatred, you do not notice the dwarf enter the arena until he is standing right in front of you, a loaded crossbow aimed at your chest.
I know what you are thinking,
He says calmly.
but remember that only I know the way out of here. Get up. It's time for you to leave.
Once on your feet, the dwarf indicates that you should walk ahead of him. Back in the chamber, he crosses over to the northern wall and pushes against one of its stones. A door-like section of the wall swings out, opening into another crystal-lit tunnel. With his crossbow still aimed at your chest, the dwarf smiles, saying,
Good luck.
The tunnel soon divides into 2. You hear a buzzing sound coming from the western branch.
Okay, so from what I saw, I think this game is like, I think we're about halfway through. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to call it for this. And I think we're just going to... I think we're going to call it here, and then we're... Well, not call it like here. I'll say X. We're going to rank this. This poor Throm got... There was only one way that could have ended. So... It wasn't that a foregone conclusion. What is not a foregone conclusion is, what are we going to put this? So that game is interesting. We'll call it interesting. I actually know exactly where I'm going to put this. Let's see, interactive video adventure. J2E... Or no, J8E2. It was 20... Oh, shoot. 2020. By branching, narrative, for the PC. I mean, technically, I would call gameplay it's an RPG, although I'd argue you could argue it's something else. And this is definitely high fantasy. Actually, technically, it's weird because it's based on a license, but it's based on a book, but it's actually the book. But this is still high fantasy. So, here's the thing. This is an adaptation of a book. That they just did in video form with Eddie Marson narrating it for you. Which I think, as goofy as it is, just to have this man just look at you for 2 hours, there's a kind of a charm to it. Also, Eddie Marston. Excuse me. But it's a telling of the original book, which I think is kind of interesting. My opinion of this, actually, I think this belongs in because you kind of get what you want out of it. Like, I don't think you'd go into this with, like, the intent of, like, an RPG. This is a way to experience, like, a rather interesting piece of literature, because this is, like, one of the more notable choose-your-own-adventure books. So, I kind of think it's one of those games that you kind of know what you're getting into, and if you want to get into it, that's fine. And it's, like, value is bad. I really don't have anything to say about it. I think Eddie Marson did a good job narrating it. But it's like, okay. I don't really have anything narratively like to say. It's just, hey, here's an actor. He reads a book. He reads a book at you, and you can choose things. And you can, like, it's nice that they actually don't make you play the entire thing from the beginning. But, yeah, I think that's an interesting way of doing that, and I kind of am glad that this exists. So, I do appreciate that existing. So, I will be right back. I don't have an ending in the sentence. I'll be right back. Alright. So, now that we are done with Deathtrap Dungeon, let's roll them bones again. Another 3. So, chat, what do we got to play with now? So, do we want to play a game that involves ghosts? Or do we want to play a game in which we are gathering intelligence? Also, let's see, 1 for up. I will also, not to put my thumb on it, one of these games has a rather interesting developer to it. Okay, 1 for up. Two for up. Going once. Going twice. All right. So, what do we have going up? So what kind of intelligence gathering are we getting? WinBack 2, Project Poseidon. This is this is also a game that I need to plug in my controller. This is an interesting game. The original WinBack was actually a fairly competent cover shooter, I believe. It was N64, and I want to say it was for something else. But this game, the sequel's interesting. It is still Koei Tecmo published, but there is a secondary developer for this one that is interesting, to say the least. Yeah, there is a WinBack 2. And it's developed by Kavia. If you're familiar with Kavia, you know exactly why this might be concerning. Makers of fine games like Drakengard and Beatdown and Dogs of Bay. And I am quite handsome. But also Nier. This is not a Yoko Taro joint, but this is Kavia. Kavia is interesting. They are kind of like Human Entertainment, in which they make a lot of games which are bad, but interesting. There is exactly one good Kavia game, and even that one's questionable. So let me pull this up. Actually, fun fact, I think... Oh, nope, I was wrong. I was about to say, I think this is actually the last game I tested. No, it's Nier. Okay, so let's load this up. Okay, what's the name of... Okay, I think it's this one. Okay, so let's see. This should be good. All right. There we go. Okay. This is in fact a Kavia game. This is a Kavia-ass game already. Oh, hell yeah. Did he just kick the bullet? This game might be good. I am looking forward to seeing how this game completely shits itself. Because it's going to do so probably incredibly hard. So yes.
WinBack 2, Project Poseidon.
Okay. There is a tutorial for this game. I'm not going to go through this because I played it, and basically it's, hey, it's a shooter. You know how to play shooters? Okay, I'm gonna play on normal. No. Also, I am on a time limit. Okay, so let's... Crisis response team. Terrorists captured a subway. Win it back. What? What does that mean?
Looking back at it now, it all began with that incident in the subway.
Thanks for coming in. We've got an emergency on our hands. A small band of armed terrorists are attempting to take over the subway system. We're not sure who they are or what their motive is, but we don't have time to sit around and speculate. Remember, we'll be monitoring your progress from HQ via your camera-equipped headsets. The comm will always be kept open, so there should be no reason for communication to break down. I'll be providing you with guidance, but when it comes down to it, you're on your own out there. It's important not to lose your cool. You'll need to resist the temptation to start shooting wildly, because if you run out of ammo, you'll be in major trouble. Let's get in there and take care of this as quickly as possible.
Okay, so Route A is circle around the enemy from the back and help secure your partner's route. Finish off the enemies. Okay.
Nick, Craig, report. Contrell here. Ready to go. Bruno here. Ready anytime, boss.
It looks like they've got complete control of that station. All the civilians got out though, so it should be just you and them. Craig, you'll be going in through a side entrance. Nick, go at them straight on and head for the platform. We don't know how many are in there, so watch your ammo.
Understood. Commencing mission. Alright, let's get this done.
Okay, so I've done a tutorial before. I just gotta remember what the controls are.
A, start.
Okay, so... Oh, right, this is a game in which you can't move and shoot at the same time.
Looks like you've got company. Get behind some cover before he sees you.
Oh shoot, I can't remember how to get out of... Okay, circle. Oop.
Hiding like a wussy. There you are.
Craig, I can use a hand. It's raining lead up in here.
These must be the guys shooting at Nick.
Oop. Oh, I died.
Craig, respawn! Respawn, damn it!
Okay.
Nick, Craig, report.
Contrell here.
I gotta remember what the button is for controlling. Or what the button is for...
Get behind some cover before he sees you.
What is the button for...
Show yourself.
No, it's not that. Oh right, I can also change the rate of fire.
I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, it's X. Okay.
Get out here. Show yourself. There you are.
Craig, I could use a hand. It's raining lead up in here.
These must be the guys shooting at Nick.
There we go.
Route A clear.
That should take care of them. Nice job, man. Let's finish this up. Nice work. Stay there for now and secure the area. Nick, get yourself down to the platform. On my way.
What? What'd that mean?
Nick, Craig, report. Contrell here. Ready to go. Bruno here. Ready anytime, boss. It looks like they've got complete control of that station. All the civilians got out, though, so it should be just you and them. Craig, you'll be going in through a side entrance.
Who's that?
You can check your position on the map on the lower left of your screen.
I'm gonna kill you.
It also shows your objective points, so refer to it from time to time. Craig, I can use a hand. It's raining lead up in here. That should take care of them. Nice job, man. Let's finish this up. Nice work. Stay there for now and secure the area. Nick, get yourself down to the platform. On my way.
Okay, so
There you are. There. I'm gonna kill you.
God, this is definitely a copyright game.
There.
Route B clear.
They're trying to escape on the train. Commuting home by subway, huh? Both of you, get on before it pulls out. You both on the train? Affirmative. I'm at the back. I got the front. Good. That'll work. Push the enemies in towards the middle. With you two on either side, they won't be able to escape. Their only chance to get away will be when the train stops. Take them out before the next station. Understood. All right, let's get these guys.
Route 8 start.
Oh,
Who's that? There.
oh.
Get out here. There.
Oh, whoops, excuse me.
Control to HQ. They've got a hostage. Make sure that hostage doesn't get hurt.
Oh.
I'm gonna kill you.
Oh.
Craig, respawn. Respawn, damn it.
Okay.
You both on the train?
I guess I just gotta be quick about this.
Found him. Get out here. There you are.
Oh, shit.
Control to HQ. They've got a
There. I've got to get moving. I need to get to the hostage.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Craig, respawn. Respawn, damn it.
You both on the train?
Okay. Turn this thing to semi.
Control to HQ. They've got a
I'm gonna kill you.
Route A clear.
Oh! Okay.
Go for the hostage. All right, I'm going in. You both on the train?
I'm gonna kill you.
Oh.
Nick, get up and finish the mission. Nick!
You both on the train?
Found him.
Damn it! Don't do this! Not now, Nick! Nick!
But, okay, this... Okay, it's Kavya game. Okay.
Both on the train?
I'm gonna kill you.
Nick, get up and finish the mission. Nick!
Why do I have... Does it sa I guess it saves the health from
You both on
the other person?
There.
Come in, Nick! Respond! Nick, respond!
You both on the train?
Found him.
Nick, get up and finish the mission. Nick!
You both on the train?
I'm gonna kill you. Hiding like a wussy. Found him. I'm gonna kill you!
Nick, go for the hostage.
There you are!
Oh,
Thank you, thank you. I owe you my life.
Mission clear.
Bruno to HQ. All enemies neutralized, hostage secure. That was the last of them. Good stuff. Start heading back to HQ. Understood. Bruno out.
all right.
Great job out there today. You use speed and smarts to keep a bad situation from getting worse. That's what. But there are still some unanswered questions regarding this incident. We found a strange memo on one of the terrorists we brought in. It had some information relating to a well-known financial securities firm. Intel's still working on establishing what sort of connection, if any, there was with this incident. Once I know something, I'll be sure to pass it on to you. For now, though, mission's over. Nice work.
Yeah, this music. Okay, so oh, it's just that. So I'm in a weird spot where I was going to like need to stop in about 10 minutes. So I think I'm gonna just quick run through this tutorial just to show that off, because I think it takes like 5 minutes.
Thanks for coming out for the training program. This program will cover everything.
Okay. Wait, did I not? Oh, right, I need to... Yep, this is in fact an analog game. Circle the crouch. Yep, here is your cover system. Up. Oh, I need to do this for the entirety of it. Oh. Yeah, sometimes the thing's a little funky. Nope, no shimmy. Or slide down the ladder. Yep, it's door. You open it with that. I just love... You know, I was doing this tutorial, I was wondering, I'm like, man, you know, this feels like weirdly competent for a Kaguya game. I'm looking forward to how they screw this up. And lo and behold, they screwed it up. Okay. So yeah, you can target limbs to do stuff. And by that I mean aim at the limbs to make them surrender. Okay. There we go. 2 shots put a body down, a headshot is fatal. I guess it's just generally 2 shots of anything. Surprised it doesn't highlight the head. That's so stupid. Okay, it is just X to throw. Okay, well, I'm getting close enough to time that I think I'm just going to go ahead and wrap that up. Oh, wait, what is voice diary? Oh. Wait, what? What is this?
I'm Tom Petrulius. I play the character Craig Contrell.
Contrell to Cabrera. That should take care of it.
Craig's got issues. Craig's got issues. On a previous mission, Craig accidentally killed Dr. Maria Schneider's grandfather, and he's trying to avoid the same mistakes this time around with Dr. Maria Schneider herself. I'm not gonna have the blood of another Schneider on my hands.
Young, cocky, sure of himself,
willing to, you know, go the extra mile to get the job done. Doesn't joke around too
Oh
much.
boy. This...
It sounds like it's his only, like, funny line in the whole game, so I'm trying to...
That's the way Craig is. But you know what? It's okay. We need a guy like that on the mission.
Nick's waiting. I need to get this done.
I had to be angry a lot, because there's a certain edge to Craig.
Okay. We're gonna have to watch that, but now is not the time. I didn't realize that was a thing. Okay. So, yes, that is going to do it for today, because I need to get prepared for something, so, that is going to do it for the stream, so I am going to press this funny button right here, and we're going to wrap it all up. So, thank you all for watching. Personal Twitter /BlueSky/co-host is at the link, or in the chat and in the video description. I do also have a Discord. You can chat the community, take part in polls, and do other fun stuff. Find that by going to club.hazel.town. I also have a coffee page where you can help with hosting costs and various other things. Next up on Thursday, we are going to be starting Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages. Which reminds me, I need to get a save state for that ready, because we'll be continuing that from our theoretical finished game of Oracle of Seasons. And then next Sunday, we're going to be playing more of WinBack 2, because I kind of want to see more of this garbage. But yeah. So anyway, I'm going to send you all over to Real Slavic Bear, who is doing a Dragon Day. With a special guest. That special guest being Lolo De Puzlo. And it's going to be the Wheel of Death. Games that are notably difficult. So that's going to be fun, and I want to get food in my belly before I go ahead and start that. Stream's not probably going to start for another 5 minutes, but I'm going to send you all over there in a raid, because they took out the other thing anyway, so... With that, thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of whatever time it's been watching. So later.